Let's see if this one's working. Looks like it is for the moment. So I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope this will continue working. All right, so this is 5-1. Group 6, raise points. So this is page 181. We're starting chapter 5. It's all about division. This very first page here, they're saying a bakery sells muffins to a local grocery stores in boxes of 20. Each box holds 20 muffins. How many boxes are used if 60 muffins are sold, 600 muffins, and 6,000 muffins? And they've written them down here in this chart for you. 60, 600, 6,000. On each box there's 20. And so you could just simply look at it as 20. Well, this first one's pretty easy. 20 into 60. Well, 20, 40, 60. It's 3. Okay? But now they've added a 0 here. So what do you think we might do here? Just simply add a 0. 20 goes into 600 30 times. Well, then they add another 0. So 20 into 6,000, what's that going to be? 300. So this is pretty obvious. I think you guys see that. Shh. Not worried about the bottom part here. Let's turn to the next page. They give us another example. And it's talking about patterns. It says a jet carries 18,000 passengers in 90 trips. The plane is full for each trip. How many passengers does the plane hold? Now, they give you some examples here, but earlier, 10 minutes ago, when we did some mental math, I gave you guys an example of a problem, and I'm going to do this one the same way. So this is really, it's 18,000 divided by 90. That's what we want to figure out. So the first thing I'm going to do here, and I want you guys to write this down as I do, is I'm just going to scratch out a 0 on each one, trying to make the numbers smaller. It's always easier to divide smaller numbers. So now we have 1800. That's 1800 divided by not 90 but 9. Okay? And so it's still not necessarily easy, but it's easier. 18,000 is a lot bigger than 1,800. And 90 is certainly 10 times smaller. 9 is certainly 10 times smaller than 90. So and this is what I did in that problem that I showed you earlier. I'm not going to think of this in terms of 1,800. I'm just going to look at a couple digits that I know would be easy to divide by 9. Ms. Carduno, what digits do you think would be easy to divide by 9? What 2 digits do you think would be easy to divide by 9? Yeah, 1 and 8. Very good. 18. Okay? So 18, Ms. Carduno, I'm going to keep picking on you. 18 divided by 9 is what? 2. So Ms. Carduno, what did I ignore?
0.
How many zeros?
2.
Zeros. There you go. That's the answer. 200. Okay? 200 times 90 is 18,000. Okay? Now, they did a little bit differently down below. And so, as you guys do a lot of this, the mental math, whatever solution or steps you take are up to you. As long as you get the correct answer, I'm happy. Let's see here. Let's look at the bottom one just for grins. So we've got 10,000, and we're dividing it by 50. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of a 0. And this now becomes what? 1,000 divided by 5. Okay? So I'm making the numbers smaller so they're easier to work with. Okay? So 1,000 divided by 5, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure. But there's 2 digits, TM, I see that would be easy to divide by 5. What 2 digits would they be?
1 and 0.
Yep. 1 and 0, which is 10. What's 10 divided by 5? 2. Now, what did I ignore that I need to add into my answer? There you go. That's right, 200. Okay? So write these down as examples if you haven't yet. Let's go to page 183, and the thing is still working. I'm pleased about that. Okay, guided practice. It says, why is 210 divided by 30 the same as 21 tens divided by 3 tens? Well, this is kind of a no-brainer. What is 3 tens? Yeah. What's 21 tens? Okay, the answer is simply because 210 is the same as 21 tens. And 30 is the same as 3 tens. Okay? Number 2 here, it says a jet carried 12,000 people in 40 trips. If the jet was full each trip, how many people did it carry for each trip? So what are we talking about here? We're talking about 12,000 divided by 40. That's what we've got to find. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of a 0 here. I'll get rid of a 0 here. So now what are we down to? We're down to 1,200 divided by 4. Well, that's a big number being divided by a much smaller number. I don't know what 1,200 is divided by 4, but there's 2 digits, Miss Clark, that I could easily divide by 4. What are they?
21.
Look again. 12. Okay, I knew what you meant. 12. Well, what's 12 divided by 4? 3. What did I ignore that I need to add into my answer?
0.
How many?
2.
So the answer for this is 300. All right, let's look at number 3 here. Very similar. 210 divided by 30 equals 21 tens divided by 3 tens. Well, I could get rid of these zeros and just say to myself, what's 21 divided by 3? That's all that's left. It's 7. I don't need to add any zeros because I subtracted, ignored a 0 from each one. Okay? Number 4. 480 divided by 60. Well, let me get rid of this. Okay? It's not going to change my answer because when I move the decimal over on each problem, the answer is going to remain the same. When we're talking about division, 48, what's 48 divided by 6? Mr. Ward.
8.
Miss Clark.
4.
Well, I think some of you better do your math again. Miss Moore.
6.
Miss Garduno, what do you think?
3. Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, that's what I said.
All right.
6 is.
Okay.
48.
48.
It's 8.
48 divided by 6. Does 6 go into 4? It doesn't, but it does go into 48. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 6 more is 42. That's 7, plus 6 more is 48.
I said 8.
Did you say 8, Mr. Ward? Okay, my bad then. All right.
It's okay.
All right. Number 5. Oh, put up 10 points if you gave me the right answer. I think a couple of you have so far. I don't remember who. I'll let you guys figure that out. All right, number 5. Shh. Number 5. They started off with 15,000 divided by 30. Then they did what I've been showing you to do, which is get rid of a 0 on each one. Then it becomes 1,500 divided by 3. Okay? Well, I don't know what that is. That's a huge number divided by a small number. I'm not too sure what that is, but I can look at the first 2 digits. I know what 15 divided by 3 is. What's that? 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then there's 2 zeros I didn't account for, so it's 500. Now, look at this problem here, number 6. Let's see if I'm going to show you guys that. So I can get rid of a 0 on each one. Now I have what? 810 divided by 9. Let me pull a stick here. Mr. Ward. So what are the first 2 digits that I could use that could be easily divided by 9? 81, right. How many times does 9 go into 81? 9 times. What did I ignore?
2 zeros.
Look again.
0.
1 0, so it's not 9. The answer is 90. Okay?
Did I get it?
Yeah, 10 points. Hang on with your question here. Next one. Miss Wathen. I'm going to get rid of a 0 on each one. Now I have 280 divided by 7. What are 2 digits that I could use that would be easily divided by 7?
28.
How many times does 7 go into 28? 4. Okay. Now, Miss Wathen, what did I ignore?
0.
Hopefully you guys are starting to see this pattern.
Yep, I sure am.
Okay. I'll put up 10 points, hon. Miss Shields. What's the first thing I do in number 8 here? What can I get rid of? Miss Shields, what can I get rid of?
Get rid of the 0 at the end of each word.
Yep, that's exactly right. So now it's not 30,000, it's now 3,000 divided by 5. What are 2 digits that I could easily divide by 5? What are the first 2 digits that I could easily divide by 5?
30.
Yeah, 30. Okay. So what's 30 divided by 5? Or in other words, how many times does 5 fit into 30?
6.
Yep, 6. So I'm going to put down a 6. Now, look right here. What did I ignore?
The 2 zeros. At the 2 zeros.
So it's 600. Okay. Number 9. 1,800 divided by 60. Everybody should know. What are we going to do? Cross out those 2 zeros. And I can rewrite this as 180 divided by 6. Okay. Oh, put up 10 points, hon. Mr. Casillas, what are 2 digits that I could use in this problem that could be easily divided by 6?
18.
Yeah, 18. How many times does 6 go into 18?
3.
3 times. I'm going to put 3. And how many zeros did I ignore?
1.
1. So I'll just add 1 0 there. So the answer is 30. All right. Hopefully you guys are going to do these. I'm going to end this video. I'll probably do another one for some homework help. So these are very much like we've just done up above. Let's look at number 11 together here real quick.
Okay.
I can cross out a 0. So now it's 36 divided by 6. Well, you guys know what that is. That's 6. How many zeros? Well, and actually we didn't ignore any zeros. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't need to ignore any zeros, so the answer is 6. And if you think about it, 360 divided by 60, that kind of makes sense. It would be 6, not 60. That'd be much too large. And I'll give you guys an example I gave the class earlier in terms of thinking if your answer makes sense. And it's seeing how many times one student could fit into another. But anyways, let me turn this off here.